Hey guys, it's very funny that I would start a channel with probably something so serious, but I just thought that amidst everything that is happening in our country, this would be probably a great platform to try and talk maybe about my experience with abuse and my experience being in a relationship with someone who was physically, emotionally, and a tad bit sexually abusive, you know, and in the hopes that when someone maybe sees this, they will rethink maybe if they are in a relationship that is abusive, or in the hopes that someone who just got out of an abusive relationship will not feel alone and know that it happens to a lot of us. Some of us don't want to talk about it because it's something that you just want to forget. But today I'll talk about my experience in the hopes that it will reach someone and maybe it will change their perspective maybe on things. I don't really know, but yeah. So with that said, I dated this guy, or I met this guy rather when I was 17, just going on 18. I was in matric. He was very sweet. He was very sweet at first. He was very loving. He was very caring, nurturing, everything you would want in a guy. Or at least that's what I thought. Everything you would want in a guy. Man, he was just the perfect gentleman in the beginning. Okay, so January, I started registering and doing all those things, preparing myself to leave for university. I left the last week of January to go move into rest, and I was excited. It was a new journey, and I didn't know anyone. It was almost like a chance to start over. Start over, and again, independence, guys. I was mostly excited about independence. Okay, so, like I said, I've been dating this guy, and now I'm in first year. I'm excited, guys. I just moved from a small village, and now I'm in Johannesburg. Who busy, like I'm excited. Obviously, you know what I mean. Okay, sharp. So I continued dating this guy. So he was very okay. I think in the beginning he did show that he was very jealous. Like if maybe my phone rang, or he would always be like, "Who's that? Kim phone alarm. Who's calling you?" And like there were little red flags in the beginning, but I think because I loved him, I ignored all of that. So he would send me money, I think every second week of the month, and he would say, "You must come home." So I literally went back home every second week, or I went home twice every month, every single month. And during the holidays, I would spend the holidays with him. Any opening that I had, I would spend it with him. And if I was not with him physically, I was with him on the phone. I was like, we I literally had to be in contact all the time. If I went to the bathroom and he called and maybe I didn't answer my phone, maybe I had left my phone in the room, it would be a problem. Like he would go crazy. Like looking back now. Okay, but still, I still had to go home now every other weekend. So every other weekend, I would go home. I would spend literally all the free time that I had with him. And I would even lie to my family and say to them, no, like I had a part time job. So during the holidays, I can't come home because I've got this side hustle. What side hustle, girl? Because they come Jolo, like at that time. Like, they come Jolo. Like, this guy wanted to be with me all the time. And at first I thought like, okay, like it's because he loves me, like he one rather that's why and he enjoys my company and me being around him. That's why he wants me around all the time. I don't know why it wasn't clicking then, but yeah. Okay. So as time goes on, like if we got into a fight, he would say the most hurtful things, like he would call me all these names. He would call me, and he's Zulu. He was Zulu rather. So he would call me, guys. Like Zulu is so intense. It just feels like that's in my language. I speak Setswana, so I feel like in my language everything is like a bit minimal. But in Zulu, it just sounds so harsh, and it literally just pierced through my soul every time he said something mean to me. And I just couldn't get why I'm sacrificing all the time that I have, any free time that I have to spend time with you, and this is how you treat me. Cool, I stayed. And I remember the first incident it happened. He had invited his friends over to come and watch soccer. So as they were watching soccer, I was talking to his friend. Like, I mean, you invited your friends over. Don't expect me to be hostile. You know what I mean? I was engaging with him, and he's like, "Oh, my sister also goes to UJ," and I'm excited. I'm like, "Oh, that would be so nice. Like hook us up so that I can spend time with her." So I thought like my boyfriend would be excited about it because I mean this is his friend's little sister. And like so maybe if I was doing anything wrong, she would be able to report it, or he would ask her like, what is she doing? Does she do anything bad, or does she hook up with guys or anything? Like in my head, at least that's what I thought. I thought like, no, he wouldn't mind. Like he'd be excited that I'd be friends with his friend's little sister. Where was I wrong? Just as I was dad hanging up the phone talking to his friend's little sister, I was on my way to pour cool drinks. So I grabbed the cup from the cupboard and I'm walking towards the fridge. He's in the room now. I'm in the bedroom. So he calls me, and as I'm approaching him, I'm excited. Like I'm excited now. Like I'm gonna go back to EJ, and I just got myself a new friend, guys. He slapped that glass out of my head. I think at that time I was around like size 30, size 32, or size 28, 30. But I was like very small, and he was this puff built guy, guys. He used to work out like he was the macho, basically. He was like "Ke hunk." I don't know exactly hunk back then. "Ke hunk." Ah, guys, before I knew it, we were wrestling. We were wrestling, and he was like literally on top of me. He was like, he was beating the like, girl. If I had any sense, I didn't have any then because he just beat it all out. Like he literally beat me so bad. I jumped out of bed. I jumped the wall. Like, you know, back home, like when I like Mabota, first break, you know, guys, I jumped over it like it was nothing, as if that wasn't enough. At this time, I think it's around like let's say 5:15, almost six, I mean, almost 5:30. Guys, he takes all my stuff and he throws it over the wall, like my bag, all my stuff. Everything was just spilling over. People were now obviously watching. I'm there, I'm crying, I'm like hysterical. I'm thinking like this guy can't play me like this. I can't go home right now because my mom thinks I'm in Johannesburg. Where am I supposed to go? Like where am I supposed to go at this time of like 5:30? Even if I was able to catch a taxi, let's say, from where he lived to town would be in Brits, right? How am I gonna like go that taxi guy from Brits to Joburg after 6? There was just no way. Guys, I'm crying now. I'm picking my things up. I like first of all, my hair, everything's just frizzed up. I'm looking crazy. I'm looking crazy. And this time I'm thinking like this guy. I thought he loved me. Like, what is all of this? Hi guys, I pack my things. I take all my things, I pack them, and I'm like, I'm going home. His place wasn't far from my house, so I think it was like, let's say, that takes it was probably like, let's say 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going home. I don't know how I'm gonna explain being home at 5:30 on a Saturday and I need to leave on Sunday, but I'm going home. Definitely, I'm going home. My mom will not chase me away that much. I do know she might be suspicious as to why I'm home at this time, but she won't chase me away. So at least I have a roof over my head. So I'm definitely going home. I'm at the bus stop, guys. I catch a taxi and I go home. Fine, I get home. Then I wash all of my clothes. Don't think my clothes were dirty, no. But in case my mom asked, then it would have been like, no, I came home to wash my laundry. Like that's the best I could come up with at that time, guys. Probably my mom would have thought like, oh my god, but that unfortunately that's all I had. And I went to bed. I didn't eat. I didn't engage with my brother. None of that. Please, none of that. And I just went in my comforters and I cried myself to sleep. Mind you, obviously you can't do the loud I'm home. I share space. I think, I share space with my brother and my mom, so there's no way that I'm gonna cry out loud. I'm just doing the, hoping no one hears me. Because if anyone hears me, my mom's gonna wake me up and ask me like, "Oh la la, oh tlileke mang." If you know black parents, they're always like, "Oh tlileke mang." That's the first thing that she's thinking is like, "Who hit you?" As I'm sobbing silently. Shut. The next morning, I wake up and it's time to go back to DJ. I'm scared out of my mind now because I'm thinking, if I have to bath and my mom sees all these bruises, what is she gonna say? What is she gonna think? Like, you know, can you imagine when your parent does everything for you and you feel like you disappoint them? It's almost like you're not grateful for what they do for you, even though you are. But it's just like unconscious, like it's always just there, because it would be like, is what I'm doing for you not enough? Why would you feel the need to be in a relationship with a guy who abuses you? What for? Like, is it money? You know? So I had to make sure that my mom didn't see any of that. And that time I'm bruised, guys. Like, I've got bruises. Like, it's hot outside, but I'm wearing a long sleeve top and I have to go back to EJ. That's exactly what I do. I catch a taxi and I go back to rest. Following day, he calls me and he's apologizing. "Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I overreacted. I shouldn't have. I love you. I wouldn't want to hurt you." All of that. Did I forgive him? Of course I did. I forgave him because I thought he was the one, guys. When you go all the way with someone, it's hard to just up and leave. So I was like, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I know he's gonna change because he loves me. And that's what I thought. And I feel like that was my biggest mistake. That should have been when I was like, no, I'm leaving. I'm done with all of this. No way, you can miss me. Right? So we continued dating, and oh my gosh, it just got worse. It got to a point where if my phone would ring or it would vibrate or something, I was like probably this close to just having a heart attack. Like, I literally got so scared every time my phone would ring. Even though I wasn't doing anything, I'm not like, the other thing is sometimes you don't know who's gonna call. Someone could just call you randomly and be like, "No, I was just checking on you." But I didn't even want any of that. I didn't want a guy, especially a guy. I did not want a guy calling me. Like, don't call me. Don't call me, guys. Like, stop phone there, lah. You know? I was almost like a prisoner in this relationship, but for some reason, at that time, I thought the good overweighed the bad. You know what I mean? I thought the good overweighed the bad. And I stayed. I stayed. And it was now he's back to being loving and kind and sweet. And a few months go by, I assume, probably like 6, 7 months. And I'm thinking, man, it was a mistake. He only did it once and he's changing. Clearly, he loves me. Guys, the second incident happened. And this time, it wasn't even over a third person or anything. We're literally just chilling at home. As we're chilling at home, he's like, let's go grab something to eat. I'm like, oh, okay. So we decided to buy some beverages, right? He bought 6 for himself and 6 for me. So he had been drinking throughout the day, and I think it's like 5 at that time. I'm on my first drink, literally my first sip. He gets up from the couch and he says to me, "You're drunk." I'm trying to explain it. What do you mean I'm drunk? I literally just opened this can. He starts fighting me, guys. He pushed me against the sofa and he gets on top of me and he just starts punching away at me. He starts punching away at me. Like, I'm asking him, like, stop, what are you doing? I'm crying out loud, like, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, What do you mean I've been drinking? I've been sitting here all day. I haven't had anything to drink. What do you mean I've been drinking? I'm trying to get him to stop so I can explain myself. He's not even giving me a chance to explain myself. Like he's just literally on top of me. He's punching me. So earlier that day, as I was cleaning, there was like this screwdriver that was lying around. And I don't know, I just got this bad vibe when I picked up that screwdriver. So I took it and I put it away. Like it was just lying in front of the TV. So as he's on top of me, he's looking for that screwdriver, or that's what I'm sensing, because he's not opening all the cupboards. I mean, ulaminako okay, yeah, more standing sa TV, like the TV stand, he's opening all of the doors, like searching for something. Guys, all I'm thinking at this point is, if I die, my mom's gonna have to explain to my relatives, to my friends, and all of that she died a local boyfriend thing. She died because she was stabbed with a screwdriver. I think that it was just the worst part of it all is I would have died. The local boyfriend thing. What is kina local high? Do you understand what I'm saying? Guys, I don't think I have ever been that terrified in all of my life. I was so terrified. I was scared for my life. I don't even want to lie to you because I'm just thinking to myself, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. He's gonna kill me. Like today, this is it. Like I can't talk myself out of this one. And I don't know. Something just probably just went off in his head and he stopped. He stopped. And he started apologizing. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Oh, I love you. Yo, guys, I'm trying to act as neutral as I can. I'm trying to act receptive to what he's saying so that he doesn't go on. But what's going on in my heart and in my head, I'm just thinking, I have got to leave here. I have got to leave this guy or else I'm going to die. Like someone can love me and still hurt me this much. There's just no way. You know? Like it didn't make sense. How could someone love me and want to hurt me this bad? You know? Okay. So that evening, the worst part was after everything, I had to sleep next to him. I had to act like everything was okay. I had to act like, oh, baby, I forgive you. Just so that, he wouldn't suspect anything or he wouldn't think that I'm trying to escape or anything like that. But at that time, my heart is breaking so bad because I'm just thinking to myself, when you're scared, but I'm trying to act cool because I feel like maybe if I act out, then it will trigger something and then he will just go off again. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just thinking to myself, like, if I can just get through this one night, if I can just get through tonight, tomorrow I am leaving and I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. This will be the end of it. He will never hear from me again. He will never see me again. And that night, you know what is the worst part? He wants us to be physical. Like in my heart and in my head, I was like, but how? How does someone hurt you so bad? And then at night, he wants you guys to have sex. How? Like in his heart and in his head, what was going on? How? You know? And I was like, I can't. I'm not feeling well. So I can't. So he's like, okay, but still, let's cuddle. Guys, I cuddled through silent sobbing. I literally was crying my eyes out. It was so, like, guys, it was such a painful thing to go through. So I did, guys. I sat next to him, even though I was sobbing, but in the hopes that he would think that I forgave him so that he would loosen up. You know what I mean? The next morning, I was bruised again. And guess what? The same person who is the reason why I have bruises was the same person who was soothing my bruises. I don't want to lie, there is nothing in this world that is as patronizing as that. Someone inflicting pain on you and still being the same person who wants to soothe you after all of that. That's exactly what he did. Took my arms, I put Dettol, mixed Dettol with whatever else, and he rubbed me, guys. The same person who is the reason why I'm in pain did that. He was rubbing me and he was trying to make me feel better. But in my heart, I feel like something broke and nothing could fix it. Nothing could fix it. Not all the deep heat in the world could fix it. Nothing was gonna fix what I was feeling inside or how broken I was feeling inside. And there was nothing that he could do to make me feel better in that moment. And I felt like that was the most painful part, is what he thinks hurts the most is what's external. But the pain that I was experiencing, or the most painful part of everything, was how I was feeling inside. And he can't see all of that. He can't heal what's in the inside, right? So that afternoon, I had to go back to school because I had classes the next morning. So I went back to rest and I acted like everything was normal. Obviously, I have to act like everything is normal, else like they're gonna start asking like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And you know the question like, "What's wrong?" It was just gonna make me cry. So I tried to avoid everyone. When I got there, when I got back at rest, I went to my room and I slept. The week continued and I went back to rest. I went back to campus. I continued with my classes. On Tuesday, I think he calls me and he's like, "I sent you money. I'm sorry about everything. You know, I love you. I'm just so overprotective of you. I'm so overprotective of you and I don't ever want to lose you. You know, I love you." And somehow, because he had hurt me so much, something in my head said, because he's the one who hurt you, maybe he's the one who can heal whatever it is that he broke. That was another mistake. But in that moment, I wasn't thinking because I was just in so much pain and I just needed to release all of it. And I went back. And things were normal again. Like, he'll act like the best boyfriend. He bought me things, he gave me money. Like, he would do whatever I asked or whatever I wanted him to do. "I love you. Sorry, yo, my love." And I forgave him once again. I know at this point you're probably thinking, "Oh, girl, you're so dumb." Believe you me, that's how I feel. Not really now, but now that I'm telling the story, now that it's a story and it's not like an actual situation, I'm thinking like, how could you have been so dumb? You know, how? No. Okay. So time goes by and our relationship is back, guys. Coconutty. We're dating, we're in love, and he's not that monster anymore. You know, he's not that monster anymore. So we're now back to being lovey-dovey. We're back to being a couple. We're back to being girlfriend and boyfriend, and it's fun again. You know, he's back to being himself and the guy that I fell in love with in the first place. Then I remember the third incident. It was a few days before my birthday, so I was home because I think it was October holidays or something like that, September holidays, but it was almost my birthday. I remember, and I just installed a new weave. You know, guys, now we get a wig. You know, I literally had it sewn in, and then I left the middle part with my hair. Okay, cool. So I'm excited. I want to show my boyfriend, like, "Yo, I look nice. I'm excited. It's almost my birthday. I think it was almost my 20th birthday or 21st, maybe. I don't remember. No, 20th, I think, or 19th birthday. When I'm more, guys, I'm excited because it's almost my birthday. Like, oh, baby, he's gonna see me looking pretty and all of that. So He's like, come outside. Like, I'm always sneaking out when I'm home. So I sneak out and we start talking and we start talking. Don't know what happened and the conversation just went left. I remember trying to walk away and he grabbed me by my hair. I literally had my hair done, I think, a day or two before. Guys, he grabbed me by my weave, like he snatched me and he pulled me back and he said, I'm still talking to you. And once again, he started beating me. A few days before my birthday, I was literally a few houses away from home. Though it was dark, I'm just screaming like somebody better come to my rescue. Like, I hope my mom comes out or something, or a neighbor or someone sees all of this. But no one came, no one is coming. And he just keeps going and going, and I start apologizing. I don't even know what I'm apologizing for, but at this point, I'll apologize for being alive, basically. Like, I'm apologizing. I'm like, please stop. I'm sorry. I love you. Please stop. I'm sorry. Like, I'm saying the same words over and over and over again. And I don't know what happened, and he just stops. Immediately when he stopped, guys, I got up and I ran home. I didn't even look back whether he was coming after me or I just remember I got up and I ran. I literally was running home because I'm like, if I'm home, then clearly I'm safe. I don't want to lie to you. It hurt so bad because immediately when I got home, I had to pull myself together and start acting normal. Guys, you remember how painful it was when they had to sew those things? When I got home, my head was literally ringing. So I was wearing a short sleeve dress. I'm just hoping that I don't have any immediate bruises. Because then I would have to explain, like, if you get 2 minutes and you come back, all of a sudden you're bruised. Then I would have to explain myself. I'm sitting there literally hoping that, you know what, I don't have any immediate bruises because I don't know how to explain to my mom that I just got beat up by a guy so close to home. And I got home and I acted normal, like, nothing was happening. But in my heart, everything was just in turmoil. I went to bed and still not saying anything to anyone. I went to bed. Next morning, I got up and I went back to EJ. I don't even think it was time for me to go, but I just had to go because at school was the only place where I could be alone, right? And I just remember it's holidays, so most of the students had got home, so I would be able to be by myself because that's exactly what I needed to be in order to be able to cry and to just release and let everything out. I remember I cried until I probably didn't have any tears left to cry. I cried because I was asking myself, like, how could you be so stupid? Why do you, why do you keep letting this be the case? Aren't you tired of being the victim? Aren't you tired of constantly bruising? Aren't you tired of crying yourself to sleep? Voila, aren't you tired? And is it because you think you can't find someone who's better than him? Or is it like, why? Why are you subjecting yourself to this? It's not like you're poor. It's not like, I just had to have that conversation with myself. I needed to ask myself, what was it that was tying me down to this guy to a point where I just couldn't leave? Even though he was hurting me and doing all these things to me, why can you not leave? Like, give me a good reason why. And I just kept, like, in my head, I just kept saying, because I love him. Because I love him. Because I love him. Another side was like, how can you love someone who keeps doing this to you? Do you want to come home as a body bag? Then, only then will you believe, no, this guy didn't love me. What needed to happen for me to for me to just admit that, you know what, I'm in a horrible relationship and I needed to get out. I left. I was like, I'm no longer looking back. I'm done. I'm done thinking that this guy will change. He will never change. He won't change. He won't change. And I don't need to subject myself to any of this anymore. So I left. And when I got to rest, I deleted his number. I blocked him. I blocked his sisters. I blocked his cousins. Anyone who knew me or who was in the same cycle as me, I deleted and I blocked them. And I took time to myself. I just started praying. I remember when I was in, I don't remember grade something. My mom got me this book for my birthday. It says, When I'm on My Knees. And it had Bible verses and scriptures inside. And I started reading that book. And it had prayers. And I started praying and I said, God, forgive me for doing that to myself. Forgive me for subjecting myself to that, even though I knew I deserved so much more. You know, I knew this can't be it. There had to probably be more to love than what I was enjoying or what I was putting or subjecting myself to. And so I prayed, I said, God, forgive me. Forgive me and help restore whatever is broken inside of me and let me be able to love again wholeheartedly at that. Not just love because I'm trying to console myself, I'm trying to get over this guy, but no, to love wholeheartedly as if the next guy did nothing to me. As if that incident, all those incidents did not happen to me. Let me give the next guy a fair chance. And I prayed. I spent a lot of time walking, like just taking like time out for myself. For myself. I got it. So please, if you are in an unhealthy relationship, I'm not going to say you should leave or you should stay. That is a choice you have to make on your own. But just think to yourself, if I die because of this guy, how will my mother or my father or my family feel? The people that are left behind, what are they supposed to think? How are they supposed to feel? Irrespective of what you might lack or what you might be without, do you not deserve to be loved and be in love with someone who you are not afraid of? Love and fear cannot coexist. I hope you hear me. Love and fear, they cannot coexist. So please, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on my next video, which probably won't be half as emotional. So